Bernie Madoff orchestrated the largest Ponzi scheme in history, scamming over 37,000 seasoned investors from 136 countries. He gained an estimated $65 billion from them. He convinced clients to invest their money with him by promising steady, high returns that seemed too good to be true. However, he wasn't generating any real returns. Instead, he used the money from the new investors to pay returns to the earlier ones, perpetuating a cycle of the scam. By the 2008 financial crisis, when people tried to withdraw their money, the Ponzi scheme collapsed. It turned out that people just trusted his reputation and invested with him. What if you are scammed like this? Unfortunately, there are scammers like this on every corner of the street today. They don't seem like shady kind of people who would vanish with your money the moment you invested with them. Rather, they exist as legit brokers, highly trained in presenting something highly profitable, even if it's worth nothing. So you trust their advice and invest, yet you lose your money. But these scammers don't run away. They make it look as if you invested and you lost the money. They played no role, yet the game was rigged from the word go. So how to avoid these scams, which are too cunning to be recognized easily? Hello, I'm Manyara Kirago, and I have been a personal financial professional for the past 2 decades. In this video, I will share my clients' experiences with you about when they were scammed, so that you can avoid what they went through. I will also explain the tactics scammers use so that they ring a loud alarm bell whenever you feel these tactics in action. If you need help to ensure you get the best outcome with your finances, I am available for your support. Please check out my Financial Freedom online course, my one-on-one financial freedom coaching, and the Eternity Real Estate program from the links in the description below. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe and share it with anybody who you think may benefit from it. Also, ring the bell icon to be notified each time I post a new video. Let's get started and learn how scammers target innocent investors. Number 1. Phishing and social engineering. Scammers frequently use phishing emails, phone calls, or messages to impersonate legitimate financial institutions, brokers, or even government agencies. These communications often create a sense of urgency, pressuring recipients to act quickly or risk missing out on a profitable investment opportunity. By creating a false sense of legitimacy and urgency, the next step is to trick victims into sharing personal and financial information or making immediate investments. Because everything is done in a hurry, innocent investors don't get the time to see the red flags and to use their rationality to take a step back. Know that urgency is the key here. For example, you might receive an email that appears to come from a reputable bank promoting a limited time investment opportunity with guaranteed returns. But this email might contain a link to a fake website that closely resembles the bank's actual website. Because you are in a hurry, you won't be able to notice the difference between the websites. Rather, you will enter your sensitive information like your bank account details and passwords. Once the scammers have this information, they can access your accounts or steal your identity. Number 2 are pump and dump schemes. In these schemes, the goal of the scammers is to buy the majority of stocks in a new project or a company being launched. Then they use social media platforms, newsletters, or online forums to promote the stock as a hot new investment with huge potential returns. As unsuspecting investors buy in, the price rises. Once the stock has reached a peak, the scammers then dump their shares, selling them off at an inflated price and leaving other investors with worthless or significantly devalued shares. Because the scammers dump all their shares, the price sees a major shock. The innocent investors are trapped because now they are holding worthless stocks in the hope that the price will rebound. But it never will. These schemes are particularly effective because they prey on the fear of missing out and the allure of quick, easy profits. Scammers might quote other people who have become rich overnight and say that it's because they invested in this new project. Many investors are drawn in by the promise of high returns without realizing that the information they are acting on is false or manipulated. Number 3 are Ponzi and pyramid schemes. In Ponzi schemes, returns for earlier investors are paid by using capital from new investors, creating the illusion of a profitable business. By doing this, more investors are attracted who bring in even more money. Even though every investor is making a profit on paper, the project is only profitable for the scammer. The scheme depends on continuously recruiting new investors to provide funds for earlier investors. When new investments slow or stop, the scheme collapses, leaving most participants with significant losses. To avoid being a victim of such a scheme, don't invest in a project by simply seeing other people you know making a profit. Don't ever invest on their advice unless you have researched well that the project is legitimate. Number 4 are pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes operate similarly but focus on recruiting new members to earn commissions or returns from sales of products. For example, an investor will invest and they might get a welcoming price. They will be offered more prizes if they bring in more investors. That's because each new recruit pays a fee to join, and a portion of this fee is distributed to earlier participants. Like Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes are unsustainable and collapse when it becomes difficult to recruit new participants. Number 5 is the affinity fraud. Affinity fraud is the perfect example of someone appearing to be a respectable person, but later turns out to be a scammer. They take everyone's money, including yours, because you trusted them. You should know that affinity fraud targets specific communities such as religious groups, ethnic minorities, or professional organizations. Scammers often pose as members of those communities to build trust and credibility, making it easier to convince victims to invest in fraudulent schemes. The resistance and skepticism is lowered because of this relationship. By exploiting social networks and trusted relationships, scammers can quickly spread their schemes within tight-knit communities. For instance, a scammer might pose as a respectable church member and encourage fellow congregants to invest in a lucrative business opportunity. Because victims believe the scammer shares their values and interests, they are more likely to trust them and invest. Number 6 are boiler room scams. In most cases, scammers are highly sophisticated and invest in a setup to make it look legitimate. Boiler room scams involve a team of scammers setting up a makeshift office known as a boiler room to convince victims that their company is real. They might direct investors to a professional-looking website and also have a respectable business address to make the company seem legitimate. However, the company does not really exist. Everything on the website is fake, and the office is often just a post office box or a temporary rented space. But Who goes visiting the company offices when they are promised high returns from a seemingly legitimate company? By the time the victims realize they have been scammed, the scammers have closed up shop and moved on to another scheme. Number 7 is government impersonation fraud. Everyone has a limit, and people believe scammers do too. However, scammers are a totally different species. There is nothing sacred to them. Sometimes, to exploit people's belief in authority, they pose as officials from government agencies, registered security authorities, or legitimate investment professionals. They use official sounding titles and terminology to build credibility and trust. Once trust is established, scammers present lucrative investment opportunities involving unlicensed stocks, bonds, or other financial instruments. They create a sense of urgency to compel quick action. This scam exploits the inherent trust people have in government and regulatory institutions. Number 8 are recovery room scams. Perhaps the worst form of scam is this one. Recovery room scams prey on victims who have already been scammed. In this scenario, a new scammer contacts the victim, claiming they can help them recover the money they have lost for a fee. And in most cases, the innocent investor accepts. It's because they consider paying a small fee to get all the investment back is worth it. However, once the fee is paid, the scammer disappears and the victim loses even more money. Therefore, always be cautious to avoid getting scammed, and if you are scammed, never consider any call from anybody promising to help you recover your money. Now let's look at the techniques and tactics scammers use to hook in innocent investors. The most common technique is creating a sense of urgency. You should know scammers often create a false sense of urgency to pressure investors into making quick decisions without thoroughly evaluating the investment. They might insist that the opportunity is time-sensitive, exclusive, or only available to a limited number of people, prompting impulsive decisions. This manufactured urgency prevents victims from taking time to perform proper due diligence, ask critical questions, or consult trusted advisors. Therefore, whenever you feel you're being made to think and act in a hurry, take a step back and consider the possibility that it might be a scam. This simple step could save you from becoming a victim of a scam. Another one is using sleek and sophisticated presentations. Always remember, those appearing too sleek and too professional are to be doubted. That's because scammers often create a mask of legitimacy using sophisticated marketing materials, professional-looking websites, and complex financial jargon. They might fabricate credentials, endorsement, or testimonials to support their credibility. These polished presentations can easily deceive investors into believing they are dealing with a reputable entity. They are showing you everything, every report, every certificate. What else could be wrong? Everybody thinks this way, and then they get scammed. Number 3 is exploiting trust and relationships. In many cases, you will see someone trying to build a relationship with you. Perhaps they want to be your friend or they admire your traits. You don't understand who they are, but because they are so good, your resistance is lowered and you start having a relationship with them. Then one day, they come to you looking extremely happy, and you ask the reason and they show you how much money they have made. You just cannot help but ask how they did it. And that's precisely what they want you to do. Then they start telling you about this investment opportunity, asking you to invest if you want. In this situation, always remember that strangers are unlikely to tell you when they make a profit. If they are telling you, something is wrong. Number 4 is exploiting cognitive biases. I told you already, scammers are evil geniuses and they think about every possibility to convince. They frequently exploit common cognitive biases such as confirmation bias and overconfidence to deceive investors. Confirmation bias leads people to favor information that supports their existing beliefs or desires while ignoring contradictory evidence. Therefore, scammers might provide information that aligns with an investor's expectations or preferences, making the scam seem more credible. But that does not stop here. Investors who are too overconfident can be scammed using overconfidence bias. Scammers may use this overconfidence bias by presenting complex, seemingly sophisticated opportunities that appeal to their sense of expertise. And a cherry on the top is put by saying a statement like, "We know a seasoned investor like you already recognizes how profitable this opportunity is." This does wonders. By attaching the decision to invest with the investor's intelligence, the scammer has made it essential, almost irresistible for the investor to put his money in. If he does not, it proves that he is not as intelligent as he thought. In fact, he is not intelligent enough to see the opportunity. Well, the list of how scammers can trick innocent investors goes on and on. With every passing day, these scammers devise new and legitimate-looking ways to scam investors. Always remember, if you are promised high returns with no risks and people are approaching you to invest, these are signs that it might be a scam. That's possible because most profitable investments, if they exist, are not spoken about so easily. Can you recall a moment when you were being scammed, but you played along knowing that it was a scam? Isn't it true that scammers feed on the investors' sentiments and present schemes using the fear of missing out tactic? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on which ways scammers are scamming people these days. And if you want to learn in more detail how you too can generate passive income so that you can finally gain financial freedom, then what you need to do is watch my free training, How to Grow Your Wealth and Attain Financial Freedom. Click the link in the description below and you will get immediate access to that training video. Please click the link below and watch it now. If you love this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for practical insights on financial freedom, personal finance, and financial literacy. Thank you for watching.